Thank you for tuning in today for devotions. This is the best way to start your day. All right, we've been looking at this week on how to live a better life. That's something in which all of us would like to have. Now, today, I want to talk about what God has given you. Those gifts you have inside. You either use that or you're going to lose. So use or lose. Now let's start here. We're going to go to Matthew chapter 25. Now here it speaks about this man, and he represents us, and God has given him a gift, and he wants him to use what God has given him. Okay, so the man is now standing before God. He did nothing with his gift. He took that gift and he hid it in the ground. How sad is that? And God says, well, why did you do that? He said, I did that because I was afraid. I went and hid the talent or the gift. And then God says to him, you are a wicked and lazy servant. Take the talent from him. Now there's actually more to this passage, but the bottom line is this. God took the gift that God had given that man, and he turns around and he gives it to somebody else who already had gifts. Okay, now, life doesn't seem to be fair. There's always going to be somebody who has more than you. There's always going to be somebody that is more gifted or better looking or taller or thinner. Listen, just forget it. We are special creations of God, and God has given you wonderful, special qualities in which he wants you to use for him. If you want to have a better life, then use it before you lose it. One day we're going to stand before God and realize that we lost out on rewards and living a more fulfilled life in this world. We go after the wrong things. I know this couple, and both of them have doctoral degrees. That sounds really impressive. They live not far from here. They've had these degrees for over the last 10, 15 years. They live in an apartment above a bar, and they hardly work. Okay, what's that all about? They worked hard to get these degrees. But see, that degree is like the little curly tail on a pig. Okay, it doesn't serve any purpose. It's just kind of cute to look at. Listen, when you have a degree like that, then you have to use that degree. When you have some special talents, then you have to use those talents for God's honor and his glory. The problem in which we have in life is not a lack of resources. The problem is not being resourceful with the little bit in which God has given you. I was reading a report about this one company, and here the company was in big trouble. They must have had 1,000 employees. They knew they were in really big trouble. So the company very generously started to offer buyouts to these employees that had worked there for years. And they said, listen, we'll give you $100,000 if you'll retire. Well, they were so scared to retire that only 20% of those that were offered took the buyout. Well, then the company ended up failing within a couple years. And when they did, there was no offer to the other employees. And the question in the article is, why did 80% of the people not take that opportunity when the writing was on the wall? That's human nature. You don't use it, you don't take those opportunities, then you're going to end up losing it. You say, but Pastor Mike, life isn't fair. You're right, life isn't fair. And listen, if you're a bird, you have to eat worms, okay? That's just the way it is. Okay, so we live in this world, and we have to struggle with the devil. That's just the way it is until we go home to be with the Lord. And now look with me in Luke 16, verse 10. Jesus said, whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. I had a young guy, I had hired him to mow grass at the church. So, we had a lower wage that we were paying. And so he came to me and told me that he wanted $25 an hour to mow the grass after the first day of work. And so he said he would be more encouraged to come to work every day if he was making $25 an hour to mow the grass. Okay, well, of course, we replaced him within 24 hours, but he has not had a job all summer. This is the way a lot of people just live their lives. Bible says, if you can be trusted with a little, then you can be trusted here with much. Now listen, if you want a better life, then you have to use what God has given you and those opportunities so that you don't lose for the future. You know, when you're standing at the bus stop and you're complaining to everybody, do you know 80% of those people, they don't care. And the other 20%, they think you deserve what you receive. All that whining and complaining is not doing you any good. Listen, life is too short to play it safe. You want to walk by faith. Hey, somebody, listen, I have this old saying, I want to die with my boots on. Okay, I don't want to just be sitting around. I want to use the opportunities that God has given me until the day takes me home. And somebody wrote this once about man. He slept beneath the moon. He laid beneath the sun. He lived a life of going to do, but he died with nothing done. Don't do that.